Cheers folks! So this little quick tip is going to be a short one showing you how to select pieces by a random value in Vex. So let's start with a little setup to work with. Here I just copying a box to some points from a grid, nothing fancy here. Then in order to distinguish the pieces from the others, we will need an attribute for that. In our case we will generate a primitive attribute with the connectivity SOP, that basically checks which object is connected and gives that object a unique number. In that case it's a class integer attribute on the primitives. Then we need an attribute wrangler to type some lines of code. Change the type to primitive here because we let the wrangler running over primitives. So, in here we need first a seed variable to alternate our values to get each time a different result. So type here, float seed equals rand, open parentheses, ch, open parentheses, seed, closed parentheses, semicolon. So, we just created a float variable named seed and we used the rand function to generate random values from 0 to 1, based on a channel we created and named also seed. These don't need to match up. The one is the variable inside that wrangler and the other is the label. Next we need a basic float input to control the amount of selections we want to keep. For that we just type float and naming the input thresh for threshold. Next we have to combine these two values to get and control our random selection. For that we use the same function as previously for our seed channel, typing again float, then naming the variable like rand select and calling again the rand function which will generate a value but this time based on the class attribute plus a seed. Finally we need an if statement that helps us to decide what to do with our selected pieces. So, I will type the statement first and explain it after. If rand select is smaller than our threshold, then please make an integer attribute named keep on that primitive and set the value to 1. 1 stands here for the actual Boolean operation, which means 1 for yes and 0 for no. Now you need to click on the little icon on the right side, which generates the actual inputs for you and lets you control the amount of selections and the seed.